Pros, they have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so with that all being said, don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribe oils for your hair at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com.
Think it's too
Okay.
late for me.
Yeah, you need it a long time ago. Okay.
Uh,
All right, Gavin. So, and here's the thing, Gavin, what does it say to you about Tony Busby? The fact that he didn't get permission, that he failed to ask permission to practice in the Southern District of New York before he started filing all these cases. Don't you think that's kind of asinine? Ambulance chaser.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what that's given to me too. And I am so annoyed at this point because I thought more of him. Okay, this is just so ridiculous. And now I really this leads me to think now that Jay-Z has some validity to his claims. You know, Jay-Z's suing for extortion, blackmail, and defamation. Okay, so what do you think about that? But let me say this first. Now in California, they have something called I think it's the law of legal litigation provision or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. And I mentioned this days ago, where you can't really just sue the lawyer for defamation when they're just trying to defend their client or what have you.
Hmm. Well, normally you can't, but remember this. Remember what happened with Bill Cosby when his lawyers were going on TV. His lawyer I think it was Marty Singer,
Uh-huh.
defended him against Janice Dickerson, and she actually filed a defamation lawsuit against him and won.
She sure did. I forgot about that. Because didn't he call her a liar?
He
Which she
essentially
is.
said it was lies. Yeah, he's saying
Which
the
she is a
allegations
damn
weren't true.
liar.
Well, yeah, I don't want to get sued, but yeah, I would say she doesn't tell the. Let's just as she
She
said,
admitted
she takes
that she,
artistic interpretation, as she said on the witness stand,
okay,
Cosby trial.
meaning that some of the stuff she said in her book was false. Meaning that some of the stuff she put in her book was lies. Allegedly. Okay. Allegedly, Janice Dickinson, but you know what you said. Okay, so here's the thing. It says California's litigation privilege protects lawyers and other parties involved in legal proceedings for defamation from defamation lawsuits. This privilege is defined in California Civil Code Section 47B. It protects communications made during judicial or quasi-judicial proceedings, including trials, mediation, and settlement conferences. Okay, then it says it applies to statements made by judges, attorneys, parties, witnesses, and jurors. It protects communications made in preparation for litigation. It protects communications made in connection with litigation from most tort claims. So Bill Cosby's attorney absolutely was sued. And that's how you know that they absolutely had it all in for Mr. Cosby, because that's not even supposed to go down like that, according to their own laws.
Hmm.
So, I guess we'll have to see how that all. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That was a shock to a lot of the attorney. Like I talked to Tom Meserable. Yes, he's Tom Miserable. Tom Mesereau, excuse me, about
Mm-hmm.
that. And yeah, we were shocked as well. I was shocked that they could do that and a court would actually grant that. It's dangerous times that we're living in now. So that's why when I'm hearing these allegations against these celebrities and so forth, where it seems like everything is just a money grab.
Yeah, it really
It
does.
seems it gives that appearance that way that we're going over something that happened 20 years ago. How can we find out whether it's true or not? Who are the witnesses? Are the witnesses still around? Where's what is there a police report that was made? Do you have evidence to support this video documentation if you kept that? So it's just a dangerous situation that we
It
have.
really is. Now, let me ask you this. How do you feel about Diddy's case going forward? Because, we have a superseding indictment. And they didn't list anything about minors in the superseding indictment or whatever.
No.
But as for what they have in the indictment, okay, the transportation to engage in prostitution or whatever, and then the RICO and the trafficking. Okay, so what do you think? How can I put this? Do you think that they have a very good case against Diddy? Because to me, it seems like they don't have a whole lot of evidence. I know they're going
I
to have
don't think
witnesses
they have
walks in, but the witnesses don't have any real proof other than he said, she said, in my opinion.
I don't think they have a good case. Just from
Mm-hmm.
what I've seen in the indictment, and you read it carefully with no emotions aside, it's a very thin. Uh, it's very thin in terms of the allegations. I don't think that Diddy. I'm not going to say it's not about whether I think he's an angel or saint. I don't, but I don't think what the state is doing. They're not God either, and certainly they're not all loving and honest with some of these things. I believe there is obviously political in my opinion, there are political and financial gains with this stuff with these celebrities because now when a
Mm-hmm.
celebrity,
Political motivations.
well, political motivations, but also monetary motivations, celebrities, uh, popularity now that can come out from this stuff because you get a celebrity in prison, you can have all of these documentaries like we're seeing that are coming out from different networks. Like NBC has a downfall of Diddy, so did TMZ. Or no,
Mm-hmm.
NBC had the making of the bad boy or something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I saw his lawyers are suing NBC. So it's and if they did with other celebrities, Michael Jackson, so forth and so on. So when I see it,
Mm-hmm.
it just seems like this is it seems like it's just a big money train that they're trying to run. And I think that now, do I think he's going to get a fair shot in a New York trial with the jury? That remains to be seen, just based off what I've seen in recent history. When these allegations come up against these celebrities, it's like once you get accused of something, don't matter whether you actually did it or not. Just the accusation is enough to find you guilty.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. It's dangerous times.
It is dangerous times. And then we have Trump in office doing all kinds of crazy ass stuff, sitting up here uh getting rid of top officials in the military. This is absolutely asinine. What is wrong with him, Gavin? Give me answers.
We've been knowing what's wrong with him. I mean, I can say this, whether you love him or hate him, I can say this much. As soon as he came into office, he started doing exactly what he wanted to do. Just like Governor Landry here in Louisiana, he
Uh-huh.
immediately started to make the reforms and changes that he wanted, and he's picking and putting in the people who supported him and getting rid of those people who didn't or criticized him. You know,
Wow. Wow.
so
Okay.
yeah, and I'm seeing that now. There's some stuff he has done I don't like. Obviously, there's some things he's supported I do like that I think
Mm-hmm.
are good. I think the JFK releasing the JFK files, the RFK and the MLK files are good.
Yeah.
But I will say this to you about
Mm-hmm.
JFK. Did you see when the that congresswoman who came out and said there were, from the documents we read, there were at least two shooters?
No, I did not see that.
She was
And
one of the yeah, she was one of the, I guess, invested. She's, I guess, on that team that is opening the case files
well, I'll
because,
say this. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
well, what he did with his executive orders is that the executive orders allow the government to set up a plan in which they are to release the documents.
Mm-hmm.
So they've set them up, but they haven't. And that JFK files are supposed to be released after they do that plan. Then I think they got to come up with another plan, from what I'm read, in which to release the files. And the JFK files are going to be released before the MLK and RFK files. Someone said he was shot from his right by way of shotguns. No, Kennedy, he was actually shot from the sewer by a rifle. He was shot from, there were at least, from the research that I've seen from different people, they had at least a four-man hit team that was out there. They also had another four-man hit team that were there as backup shooters, which is why if you go and look at the pictures and so forth, and you can find them online, there's actual pictures of a bullet hole in the ground. There's bullet holes in the limo. There's also a bullet hole in the grass, as well as the windshield. There was a bullet that hit the lamppost, which is why in the Zapruder film, if you watch it, there's a little girl running next to the car on a sidewalk. As she turns, it's because the shot came from the Daltex building.
This is all nefarious. And
Right.
William Cooper said years ago before he died or was murdered by the Arizona police, may he rest in peace, but he said that even the limo driver, shot Kennedy also.
Well, that's not likely. That I know what they're talking about with that video. Wasn't the because he's right there, and you got to think not only next to the other Secret Service man, but other witnesses that were there, and Jackie Kennedy is right there, as well as the governor. The shots that killed killed Kennedy came from the Daltex. The Daltex building is where he got shot in the back. The shot from the throat came from the grassy knoll from the front. But there was another gunman in the sewer. And this is speculated. If you look at it, because I've been to Dealey Plaza, snipers hide from cover when they're shooting. So they were going for a headshot on the president. And if you look at the Zapruder film very carefully, the head goes back. They say goes back into the left, but it actually goes up into the left.
So there actually was a shooter on the grassy knoll.
Yeah, they had.
Because I didn't believe that. Okay.
They had people running. There was someone on the grassy knoll. They had people running up there. The doctors at Parkland Hospital even verified that when they looked at the throat wound, they said it was a wound of entry. They changed it the next day
and said that it was an out.
They were right. They were forced to change. Same thing with Bobby Kennedy. I'll just be brief on this. Did you know there was an autopsy was performed by a guy named Thomas Noguchi? Noguchi, if you ever watched the TV series Quincy with Jack Klugman, it was based off of him. Well, Noguchi did what's called the perfect autopsy because he had naval doctors, he had Army doctors that assisted him, and they concluded that the shot that killed RFK came within what's called point blank range. It was less than 1 inch because there were powder burns behind Bobby's ear. Sirhan was in front of Bobby Kennedy the whole time, at least by 2 feet.
Right.
And Rosie Greer and the guys were grabbing him. And I talked to Dick Gregory about this too. The guy who killed him who's deceased was the security guard, Thang Caesar, allegedly.
Okay, now Gavin, this information that you just spoke about with JFK, that shooting, can you send that to my email? Because I would love to see it. Because until further notice, I have to go with what William Cooper said. Now, there may have been other shooters, but I believe that he was killed by the limo driver, like William Cooper said, because even when I saw that video footage, it looked like the driver turned around and shot over his left shoulder. And also that made me feel like that's why Jackie Kennedy took off so quick trying to climb out the back of that darn car. And also I remember one of the Secret Service agents was sitting on the back of the car, and right before the shooting started, he got off. And I was wondering, why would he have gotten off? So it all looks like he was planned and they were in on it. That's just my opinion.
The Secret Service wasn't on it, but it wasn't that Secret Service agent. If you look at it, what you saw was, and this is another thing, because they say even the Zapruder film was edited. The limo driver hit the brakes when the shots were going on. In other words, he wasn't when you hear gunfire, it's time to run. You're running or you step on the gas. Yeah. What he did, because they were going for a headshot on the president, and the witnesses all said this, the car slowed down and broke. And even if you look at the Zapruder film, it comes to almost a halt. So he actually stopped. Now with Jackie, which reason why she was climbing out, and there was a motorcycle cop right behind the limo. The guy's name was Bobby Hargis. He got sprayed with the president's blood,
brain matter and stuff.
Brain matter.
Jackie Kennedy had brain matter stuff.
Jackie was going out of the back so she could get in. She was going to get the piece of the president's skull that had blown out. That's why she crawled back there. The Secret Service agent.
God, this is absolutely horrible hearing this.
Even with that, Lee Harvey. The point is this: Lee Harvey Oswald could not have done all of that.
No, I never believed that he did it.
Lee
After I
Harvey
started doing my
Oswald,
research.
the parade route was changed at the last minute. That
So
wasn't
he couldn't have had prior knowledge. Okay, now Adrian says there is video of the driver shooting the fatal shot. Yeah, that's the video I saw. So this video you're talking about, Gavin, please send me that information. Okay. And the other information that you're talking about. But hold on. Sure. Let's get back on Trump. Okay. Because here's the thing. Like I said, he fired these people, and it's because he wants to assess that they're DEI hires, in my opinion, because these are the people he fired. Okay. Mm-hmm. Very skilled and highly trained individuals. Sure. Okay, just so you know. And here's the thing. Now they're reporting that Justice Department shuts down federal law enforcement misconduct tracker. I say, what now? So let's get into this. I'm going to share the screen so you all can see this video. Gavin, what is your friend Donald Trump doing? They said you voted for him twice.
I didn't vote for him twice, actually. No. I didn't want her. I voted once for him. I could not support Madam Vice. I couldn't support the Vice President.
I just made Gavin confess. I was just teasing.
Oh, I didn't vote for him. Well, I've said this before, and
Pam Bondi has not wasted any time implementing.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Gavin.
I said no. I've actually said it before that this past one I voted for him. So I mean, people can vote for who they want. Mm-hmm. Give a damn if they're mad.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel the same way. And all these people that were getting mad, I don't see why they're getting mad, because people can do what they want, like you said. Now, so with that I've been saying, let me ask you this. Do you think all the stuff that Elon's little Doge group has been finding about this nefarious, frivolous spending, when they're saying they're sending money over to fund people connected to Al-Qaeda, sending them sandwiches by the millions of dollars, and then they're saying they're getting a Sesame Street remake over there in Iran or wherever, and they're sending millions for that, or billions? Do you believe this? Because I don't. I think it's money laundering. What do you think about all of that?
Well, I'm thinking, just from what I've seen with Elon Musk and so forth and Doge, I'm suspecting, and I think Elon Musk is a jackass. But
I think he is too.
Yeah, he is. When you're wealthy, a lot of these people are up, stuck up and so forth. But what I would say is this: I think something is going to come up where a lot of the people are opposing that. We might find some of the stuff that they're into. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the reason why a lot of them are mad about it, especially find out how they're doing their spending and acquiring monies. And look, I think, Trump, in regards to the DEI firings and so forth with the generals and colonels and admirals, I'm not a military man. The new Defense Secretary, Uthridge, has been in the military, although he was believe he was a lieutenant general or lieutenant colonel, if I'm not mistaken, lieutenant general. So he's not obviously more, to me, he doesn't have the promotions as the previous administrator was. But presidents can fire and hire who they want, and they have that authority to do so. Whether I like it or not, I would love to see the brother stay. Elon Musk, someone said he's very strange. Yeah, I think Eli is just very rich. Elon, oh, you're on mute.
I think that he's on the autism spectrum.
You think so?
Yeah, I absolutely think so.
Yeah,
I absolutely think so. He's strange fruit, I'll say that much. Well, let me say this, Gavin, and also let me correct myself, because earlier this morning, when I was telling you all about the people who got fired due to Trump, and based off of the DEI thing in the military, and they're saying they don't want wokeism in the military, when I mentioned Admiral Linda Fagan, and I thought it was a woman because I said there was two women, and then I said, wait a minute, it's saying here she's a man. Well, they did say it was a man, and I'm thinking a man named Linda. But then I thought maybe she was trans or something like that. But this is the person right here. So it is a female. It is a female. I was thinking maybe they were using pronouns. I wasn't sure. But I have confirmed that was a female that they fired. So 2 women, okay, and a black man. The main people that they accuse of being DEI hires is who Trump got rid of. All right, but here's, if we want to look on the bright side, if there is a bright side to DEI being done away with, now people who are black or minorities or whatever, women and the like, they don't have to worry about people questioning, did you get this job, because of DEI, or do you actually have the qualifications? Because now they'll just know that you're qualified for it. Okay, please.
Well, DEI, and we have to be familiar with this. DEI, and if you look at the reports and who that benefits, and Queen, I'm sure you know, black people are at the very bottom when it comes to DEI programs, receiving those type of benefits. It's mostly white women that get the benefits. DEI is just another form of affirmative action.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And I have said that before myself, Gavin. I have absolutely said that. That absolutely white women benefited more so from that than black people or any other group, in my opinion. Okay, so now let's get into it. Let's talk about what Trump has going on here.
Pam Bondi has not wasted any time implementing her agenda in her first days as Attorney General. Among other things, she has ordered a review of the prosecutions against President Trump and froze funding for sanctuary cities. Department of Justice reporter Jake Rosen joins us now. Jake, great to see you. So walk us through what she's already done in her very short time at the top of DOJ, particularly when it comes to sanctuary cities and diversity initiatives.
Yeah, and just like what Trump put in an executive order on his first day in office, across all of government, Pam Bondi on her first day, first hour, she signed a big slate of memos, first of which eliminated DEI inside the Department of Justice, like we've seen all of the new department heads do, but also outside the department, right? Kind of rolling back some of what those more progressive or liberal prosecution ideas were for the Biden administration to go after more hate crimes or racially charged things, environmental justice, which is another thing that the Biden administration made a really big point of. But again, when you talk about what Pam Bondi really did was align with the Trump administration and worldview on immigration. There was an executive order to, quote, totally eliminate the cartels. So that's a very difficult task. But what she says across what the DOJ is going to do is shift resources away from things like going after foreign influence in American politics and rolling back task forces that have been in place for 5-10 years on that to really focus on rooting out cartels, going after harsher penalties for illegal immigrants who commit crimes. You'll remember that subway murder when the illegal immigrant lit a woman on fire. She wrote in that memo that under her administration and Donald Trump's administration, they expect there to be a death penalty sought in cases like those, in addition to potential deaths of law enforcement under the Trump administration as well.
Wow, so a major shift in priorities. I want to play some sound for you from our Scott McFarland, because he spoke exclusively with a current FBI agent who worked on January 6th cases and now is worried about retribution from the Trump administration, and especially at DOJ and the FBI. Let's take a listen to that.
What was it like filling out that questionnaire? Saying what you did and when you did it.
Really demoralizing. Defeated. We all feel defeated, and really for nothing. We don't feel like anyone has our backs.
How widespread are the concerns that FBI agent is describing?
Extremely widespread. And in a court hearing today, between some of those FBI agents and the FBI Agents Association, which are suing the Department of Justice right now to kind of preserve that name of those agents who worked on the January 6th and Trump-related investigations, the attorneys repeatedly laid out through over 5 hours of hearings today how worried they are for their clients' safety kind of in this environment that we're living in, but also were any further details, not just necessarily in this case, but once Kash Patel, if and when he gets confirmed, what he might further do. They're extremely worried, especially when you have people like Elon Musk and Donald Trump who have not been afraid to kind of release and prod and push more information about these agents and people out online.
Right, and so many of these agents were just assigned to do that work by their superiors. Jake Rosen, thank you so much.
Okay, so what I have to say about that is that those agents were just doing their job. Okay, those agents were simply doing their jobs. That's what they were doing. And for Trump to be possibly firing them because of it, it's just asinine to me. The people who caused the insurrection and raided the Capitol January the 6th, those people are domestic terrorists and they need to be in prison, not pardoned. Okay, now, Gavin, give me your thoughts on that after I read this comment.
Well, they broke the law, and they actually did get prosecuted in part, but he then ended up pardoning them. He did what I thought he was going to do. And my take on it, essentially, with Trump, he is looking out for the base and the people who have supported him. You know, that doesn't surprise me that he did that. And I just want you to notice something, though. And Judge Joe Brown and I talked about this. You see how the difference, though, when we tried to ask for stuff, or when a few years ago when President Obama was in office, and it was always, well, he can't do all of this, he's not doing this, all of that. And then you see Trump in office and just his first, and it's not even been 100 days, and he's signing all of these executive orders, moving this forth and that forth and doing what he wants. Power does what it wants. So when we ask people for stuff, when we ask especially for us for tangibles, these groups, if they wanted to go move forward with something, they could. They can do it. They can request it if they want to. So, I mean, him firing the FBI agents and so forth, I would say, yes, it's certainly a vendetta of sorts. Well, it's not of sorts. It is a vendetta against people he feels that have gone against him. He's just gotten rid of them. Now, can he technically do that? Yes, because with the administration that comes in, just like in any other government position, when there's been a change in power office, they can replace it with the people that they want. They can hire the people they want. Yes, they can do that. Now, of course, they can't break the law and do those things. But yeah, they certainly can go ahead and do certain stuff like that. I think, again, now I'm not a military man. I know we had the brother who was, like I said, the head of the Joint Chiefs that they got rid of. I wish he could have stayed a little longer. I mean, he seemed like he was very competent, but can they but like I said, it doesn't surprise me that he replaced him. Now, I don't think Heschep is as qualified as this man was, but nevertheless, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that he did that. So you're on mute.
Fair enough. Okay. Now let me read this comment. Who's talking says Elon builds rockets for NASA. So I don't believe he's on the spectrum, and I don't think he is a donkey. But either so for people to keep downplaying him, how smart he is wild to me. I'm just saying. Well, he may be smart. There are people that are on the autism spectrum that are very intelligent. Wouldn't you say, Gavin?
Sure.
I mean, let's just keep it a buck. There absolutely are. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just think he's a spoiled brat.
Well, clearly that too. And I also think he's the Antichrist. As I've told you all a myriad of times, and I'm not even joking, I literally believe it. So that all being said, listen, what we can say at the very least is that he's socially awkward. Okay, at the very least, he is socially awkward. Okay, the rolling of the eyes, the awkward Nazi salute, okay, that they claim wasn't, okay, and just, the way he speaks publicly, he's not very well spoken. And when he is speaking, he does not sound intelligent one bit. Okay, that's a fact. So, and you all should know that because I've played a couple of videos of him speaking during interviews, specifically the one that he held in the Oval Office, which I still have questions as to why he held it in the Oval Office. Okay. But anyway, I digress. So anyway, but let's talk about it. Let's get back to Trump. Okay. Because here's the thing. So they're talking about how the Justice Department shuts down the federal law enforcement tracker. Okay. The Department of Justice eliminated its national database that tracked misconduct incidents among federal law enforcement officers. They say agencies can no longer query or add data to the National Law Enforcement Accountability Database. The Justice Department posted this in an online statement, confirming that it is being decommissioned as a result of an order signed by yours truly, President Nefarious Trump. okay, on his first day in office, and that rescinded 78 Biden-era executive actions. Now, the website where the database existed is now a dead link. All right. The police misconduct database was operational for a little over a year. Having launched in December of 2023, it was not public. Instead, law enforcement agencies could privately search for information on whether a new hire or officer within their ranks had a documented history of abuse or of violating department policies or law. For example, racial bias or excessive use of force. This is what Trump is out here doing with his low down self. Now, it was conceived in an attempt to reduce the problem of so-called wandering officers, instances where police who were forced out of their jobs because of substantiated misconduct simply found new jobs at different agencies that would otherwise have no way of knowing their history and the potential risk of arming them with a badge and a gun. And in the case of that would speak to those officers those corrections officers who just killed that man, Robert Brooks, okay, a month or so ago. All right, while he was an inmate. They beat him to death. 13 of them, those officers, at least 3 or 4 of them, had other previous charges, not charges, but they had other previous misconduct allegations, and in fact had lawsuits filed. Okay, so this is all information that wouldn't follow them if they went to another police department. And this also brings to mind the officer who murdered Tamir Rice on the playground for a toy gun, how he got fired and just went on to another agency or another department. Okay, so anyway, it goes on to say the idea of a federal police misconduct database was proposed by the first Trump administration in an executive order called Safe Policing for Safe Communities on June the 16th of 2020. However, efforts to establish one did not begin until Executive Order 14074, signed on May the 25th of 2022 by then President Joe Biden, marking 2 years since George Floyd's killing by a Minneapolis officer. The Biden order was among those rescinded by Mr. Trump on January the 20th. They say it's reckless and harmful. It's a reckless and harmful decision and a major step backward for transparency and public safety. This is what Shireen Baines, non-resident senior fellow at the Brookings Institution, who led the development of Biden's executive order establishing the database in the first place, in his role as deputy director of the White House Domestic Policy Council, where he served until 2023. Saying, why would you shut this down? This helps no one except bad officers, bad actors who had no business wearing a badge, okay, in the first place. Now, all 90 executive agencies with law enforcement officers were required to report misconduct incidents related to their nearly 150,000 federal police nationwide. During its brief time in operation, an additional 4 departments also voluntarily submitted officer records. Now, the president only has the authority to require federal agencies to participate. However, the NLEAD was designed with the potential to incorporate state, local, and tribal police departments as well, and offering them a series of grants as incentives to opt in. According to Baines, the Biden administration built the database in direct consultation with policing agencies, as well as civil rights groups and academics, and specifically included due process protections for individual officers, giving them the ability to challenge the inclusion of any potential mistaken information. They say this really makes cops' jobs harder. This is what Baines says of the shutdown. The International Association of Chiefs of Police appeared to agree with him. Okay, they say our members saw real value in the NLEAD database, which is why we worked with both the Trump and Biden administrations on conceptualizing and bringing the database to life. IACP President Ken Walker told CBS this information in a statement, saying, when hiring a law enforcement officer, leaders want to have as much information and context about candidates as possible, while ensuring that each candidate's due process is also being respected. And now, in 2020, a team of researchers from Duke University and Chicago Law School studied data on all 98,000 law enforcement officers at nearly 500 police agencies in the state of Florida and found that officers with a history of substantiated misconduct were more likely than both officers hired as rookies and those hired as veterans who have never been fired to be fired from their job or their next job or to receive a complaint for a moral character violation. Okay, in its first annual report published last December, the Bureau of Justice Statistics through the NLEAD database identified 4,790 misconduct incidents between 2018 and 2023. And among those, nearly 1,500 federal officers were either suspended, fired, or resigned while under investigation for serious misconduct. And more than 300 officers were actually convicted of crimes. Now, Gavin, what do you have to say about all this?
Well, look, first off, I actually have to run in a minute. I still a little bit longer, but as far as it goes, well, let me just say this. The database, what you're talking about, I'll be brief. What we're talking about, and you gave the example of the brother that was killed. You muted, Queen. You said something? Oh, she's on the phone. All right. So I was listening to what she was stating with regards to the database. Let me just say, regards to the Robert Brooks incident, I don't want to use the wrong words to get the Queen shadow ban, but with regards to the Robert Brooks incident that was on video, yeah, everybody saw obviously what happened. I think all of those officers got charged with murder out in state.
Yeah, they did. They got charged. I reported that yesterday.
So what is your general question about? You're asking me about the
what do you think about what Trump is doing, how he's gotten his database shut down, and so now they don't have reports on the bad officers before they get hired at other police departments?
Well, it's not something that I like. I obviously don't. I think that there has to be rules and database, and there has to be checks and balances on these officers with this. But we also have to keep in mind as well, before this database was even created, they had officers that were still, we didn't have anything like this. They were still being transferred and reported. They were still doing the same things even when this stuff existed at this point. Now, you obviously on the state, and understand this too. There are jurisdictions that are at stake, the state versus the feds. The states, of course, we know they run things. They have what's called states' rights under the 10th Amendment. Feds also have what's called the Supremacy Clause, but that is in regards to what that means is that when there's a tie and difference between the state and the feds, the federal law is supreme. It rules. It's the tiebreaker. Now, they cannot, that does not mean that officer necessarily, because that officer necessarily will get another job or anything like that. It can still happen. They can still be I'm sure they're going to be prosecuted in the state, and they probably will be prosecuted even on federal charges, because what happened to Robert Brooks was also a civil rights violation. Now, what Trump is doing, like I said again, he's doing the same things that he's doing exactly what I said, which is he is putting in what best benefits him and his base, which is what he's trying to do, what he is doing. Now, I thought when he came in office in 2016, and they talked to him about the shooting of the brother out in Oklahoma, I can't think of the gentleman's name. I thought he had proposed, or if I'm not mistaken, there was an idea he had talked about when he was campaigning that he was going to put a database in place.
Well, they just said that it was first proposed. It was first proposed by Trump. Yeah.
But now
Biden's the one who put it in. Yeah. But that's the thing.
Okay. So he first puts it in. Now he removes it. Yeah. I think that.
Well, he didn't put it in. Biden put it in 2022.
Well,
but Trump's the one who initially proposed it. Right. So why now? Do you think, I'm wondering if Elon's not in his ear, because, they did say that Elon was telling him something to do to the Africans Hold on, I need to look that up. But keep going.
Well, lead manager said, "Why is it so hard for grown dudes to give straight answers?" I gave a straight answer. Maybe you need to listen carefully to what I just said. Maybe I'm not answering the question you want or the way you want it, but I gave an answer, and I said before from the beginning, he's doing what he wants. I don't have to like it. I don't like it, what it is. But at the same time, the bottom line, when you're the president of the United States and you have power, you can do whatever you want in regards to how you run your administration.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. You sound feminine. Okay.
Hold on. Who's saying that? Who's saying that?
Lead manager.
Hold on.
I would challenge you to say that.
Lead manager, I'm gonna put you in a timeout. I'm gonna put you in a timeout, beloved. Don't come in here being disrespectful to any of my guests, okay? One more and then you'll be banned. Continue.
No, I didn't want him to be banned or anything like that.
No, I didn't ban him, but he's in timeout regardless. Continue.
No, it said banned and their comics were removed. That's why I was looking.
No, he's not banned. He's in timeout. But keep talking.
Yeah. I'm giving the answers and explaining them how I am. Now, if you feel I'm going around with it, then you can leave. But I'm giving it straightforward. He's doing what he wants. I said I didn't like it. We have the duty, especially as citizens, to hold our elected officials accountable, regardless if they're Republican or Democrat. I'm actually independent with regards to how I vote and what I look at. I feel that with him shutting down this database, is this going to hurt us as a society per se, Queen? I don't think it's necessarily going to hurt us either way, because we've been catching hell even without that before it came into place. So when Biden was president, you had this database here for 4 years, and now after 4 years, Trump is removing it. Now, I actually saw, you mentioned Elon Musk, and I'm glad you brought that up. I had read that Elon Musk and Trump were having some type of falling out from what reports I had seen.
Well, now, you know what? That's not a shock. I already said that was going to happen.
Right. They had a falling out. Now, maybe they did. Maybe they are back together and so forth. But I'm listening to this stuff, listening to what's going on. I feel like Trump, again, he's trying to cater to this base. I'm not in favor of what he's doing, necessarily everything he's doing. I'm not. But this stuff doesn't surprise me.
Right, doesn't surprise me either. Okay, so let's just talk about this, because here's the thing. I believe that Elon's the one who put Trump up to it to say that they're not going to, help the South Africans or whatever. They're going to cut off supplies to them or whatever if they don't give back those people their land. And these are people who took the land from them in the first place, people who don't look like them. Because here's the thing. This is what Elon Musk is quoted as saying. White South Africans are being persecuted for their race in their home country. Well, it's not their home country. Europe is their home country, but let me continue. Okay. Also, white South Africans are one of the few population groups that are fiscally positive when immigrating to Europe. We should allow more immigration of white South Africans. Okay, the Danish man Musk was responding to at 3:36 a.m. is a transparently racist poster who has written that non-Western immigration to Northern European countries is morally indefensible. They say South African President Cyril Ramaphosa did recently sign a controversial law that expands the state's ability to expropriate land, in some cases without providing compensation. By the law, which was signed by a democratically elected government and is motivated by a desire to address several severe injustices imposed on Black people by past regimes, is not what Trump and Musk are making it out to be. President Ramaphosa wrote on social media that the law is not a confiscation instrument, but a constitutionally mandated legal process that ensures public access to land in an equitable and just manner as guided by the Constitution. Okay, so Elon's sitting up here, this is what he's doing. He's sitting up here trying to act like they're just doing the white people over there so dirty, taking their land, trying to confiscate it. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is, They took that land in the first place. So, and now he's saying that they're taking the land without giving the compensation. So let me get this straight. You know, like Julius Malema said, okay, a couple of years ago, he said basically he gave an example of basically somebody coming and stealing your car. And then you come back to take your car from them, but they want you to pay them for the car that you're taking back that never belonged to them in the first place. That's how asinine Elon Musk sounds, okay? Mm-hmm. He sounds ridiculous. He sounds ridiculous. But Gavin, let me bring this up before you go, because I know you got to run and I'm about to close out in a second. Was Donald Trump a Russian spy in 1997? Bizarre allegations by ex-KGB officer will surprise you. Gavin, do you have any knowledge of this?
I have no knowledge of that.
Oh, really? This is all so nefarious. Well, let's talk about it. Because in what sounds like the plot, now mind you, I didn't have any knowledge of this either, but my mother told me this earlier today, and I'm like, what? I said, I wish you'd have told me this earlier so I could have talked about it this morning. Okay, so in what sounds like the plot of a Cold War thriller, a former KGB officer has dropped a bombshell claim saying that Donald Trump was allegedly recruited as a Russian spy in 1987. Is that why he loves Putin? Well, let me continue. And given the code name Krasnov. Yes, you read that right. The former U.S. president, known for his bold tweets and unconventional diplomacy, is now being accused of being a Soviet asset. Well, it looks like he's still one. That's why him and Putin get along. Now, this jaw-dropping allegation, now I'm not saying this is true, mind you, because I have no idea. This jaw-dropping allegation comes from Alnur Musayev, a former Kazakh intelligence chief who served in the KGB's 6th Directorate in Moscow. Okay, Musayev insists that recruiting Western businessmen was a top priority for Soviet intelligence, and Trump was apparently high on their wish list. Ooh, this is all nefarious, Gavin. This is all nefarious if true. Okay, and this is what it says in a post that he posted on X. It says, in 1987, I worked in the 6th Department of the KGB of the USSR in Moscow. The most important area of work of the 6th Department was the acquisition of spies and sources of information from among businessmen of capitalist countries. Okay, so clearly saying that Trump had something to do with all this. Now, according to Musayev's Trump recruitment took place during his 1987 visit to the Soviet Union, a trip that was supposed to be about real estate, but may have had deeper political implications. You see, back then, the New York real estate mogul was eyeing a hotel project in Moscow, facilitated by Soviet officials. But according to Musayev, those meetings weren't just about marble lobbies and penthouse suites. They may have been a covert intelligence operation. Okay, now adding fuel to the fire, intelligence reports from the mid-1980s revealed that the KGB had updated this recruitment strategy, instructing officers to target influential Western figures for potential collaboration. What was the goal? Well, I'm glad you asked. To turn them into agents, confidential informants, or at the very least, friendly contacts within the capitalist world. Okay, this is all crazy. Now, Musayev now claims that Trump's personal KGB file is still active and managed by one of Vladimir Putin's allies. This is juicy. While no hard evidence has surfaced, the claim has certainly rekindled old suspicions about Trump's ties to Russia. Well, what do you say about this? Unsurprisingly, Trump has vehemently denied any involvement with Russian intelligence. Over the years, he has dismissed accusations of collusion with Putin as ridiculous and fake news. However, some U.S. officials, especially those who served in his administration, have openly wondered about his unusual deference to the Russian president. Now, Anthony Scaramucci, Trump's briefly tenured White House communications director, has fanned the flames of speculation once again, speaking on the Rest is Politics podcast. Now, Scaramucci claimed that Trump's strange admiration for Putin puzzled even his closest advisors, saying there is a mysterious hold on the president. This is what Scaramucci says, suggesting that the top officials like H.R. McMaster, James Mattis, and John Kelly, all of whom served in Trump's administration, struggle to explain his consistent soft spot for the Kremlin. saying, I don't know why it's like this. Okay, McMaster couldn't figure it out. Mattis couldn't figure it out. Kelly couldn't figure it out. Said none of them, in fact, could figure it out. Okay, so then they say, to add another twist to this already bizarre story, French magazine Le Point recently reported that Trump may be planning to attend a military parade in Moscow, a celebration marking the 80th anniversary of victory in the Great Patriotic War, Russia's term for World War II's Eastern Front. Okay, Trump quickly shut down the report, telling reporters at the White House, no, I'm not. But the mere suggestion that he would take part in a major Russian military event has only intensified the whispers about his links to Moscow. So was Trump truly recruited by the KGB? Is there a dusty file somewhere in Moscow labeled Krasnov, aka Donald J. Trump, detailing his supposed years of service? Or is this just another Cold War era conspiracy that has taken on a life all its own? For now, the former president remains a real estate mogul turned politician with a penchant for headline-grabbing moments. Whether he was ever more than that remains a mystery, one that, if true, would be one of the most bizarre espionage stories in modern history. Now, what do you have to say about all that, Gavin? Because that's a whole lot.
That is a whole lot. From what you said, like I said again, I
am done.
Yeah, I highly doubt it. I don't think that. I mean, at that time, he was a private individual. Could he have been there? He had access, obviously, to Russia and so forth, flying back and forth. So the allegations are is that he's a Russian mole, like the movie Salt. I don't have too much information about it to comment which way or the other, but just from what I've gathered and so forth and listening to what they've said now, he has obviously a close relationship with Putin, but I can tell you no president, I don't believe, would openly participate. At least I have not seen in my lifetime or heard of a president openly participating in another foreign nation's military, either their strategy or their drills or anything like that. That would be, I believe, a violation of federal law for them to do such a thing.
Yeah, but Trump's not a regular president, and Trump doesn't give a damn about federal law or any other law. Trump does whatever the hell he wants. Let's not forget.
Does whatever. Yes, but to do but to listen to what you're saying, a military drill or the military processing that has not been done even when he was in office in 2016. And
I'm not saying he was going to do it. I'm not saying he's going to do it. I'm just saying that I wouldn't put anything past him. That's all I'm saying.
But since Trump is not a normal human, okay, fair enough. But I think he's not
all true.
I mean, he doesn't care. I mean, he doesn't care which way, how he go. Yeah, how people perceive him and so forth. Yeah, that's true. I agree with that whole point. But I just don't. Just because you've given me this information very quickly, I don't know about that. Did someone say, well, he did just fire the military people? Yes, he did fire major military people, which is true. That is also his right. He also did declare, I did see that he has those Black History Month, and he's supposed to be doing monuments of great Americans with Black icons too. So yeah, I've seen that.
So they're saying Trump was a Russian spy at some point?
But you're saying, but he may not be a normal president, but you're trying to say the man is James Bond. Johnny Dangerously. That he's not Angelina Jolie's character, but her co-star, Liev Schreiber's character, the Russian mole that infiltrated the Secret Service. I'm a conspiracy theorist to an extent, but damn, come on now. I just some stuff.
I am so done, honey.
Yeah.
Trump, I don't put anything past you, you varmints. Okay, Trump and Diddy are both nefarious varmints as far as I'm concerned.
Sure.
Okay, now I don't think Trump was I don't think he was a Russian spy. I don't know where this guy's getting that from, but if he was, I would like to see the documentation. Krasnov. Shall we call him President Krasnov from now on? I have several questions. Now, Gavin, let me ask you this too. So you said that you heard Trump and Elon had gotten into it. Now, where did you hear this from? Because I wouldn't be surprised if they did, because to me, you know, Trump likes power and authority. He likes people kissing his ring and licking his boots. But Elon seems like he's trying to take over. Like he's the president.
There was an article, I can't remember exactly. I might have been on CNN. I can't remember the news site, but I saw supposedly there was a fallout between the two that was shared. I read about it. If I can find it, I would send it to you. But yeah, I don't remember the exact source of it, but I did read it somewhere. So I can't. Unfortunately, I can't name it just yet. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. You know, they say that Elon has a whole lot of power. You know, he has a whole lot of power. I mean, in Trump's administration, which I feel like he's overstepping his boundaries to a degree. Yeah. And the fact that he held that meeting, that interview in the Oval Office is just absolutely, and brought his son, who had the nerve to tell Trump to hush your mouth. You're not the president. You need to go away. Sounds like that little boy heard Elon or somebody else saying that. Sounds like that's what that's all about. I don't know. Hey, I don't want to just speculate. Well, actually, I do, but but I just can't repeat what they hear.
Sure. Yeah, they do that. But no, I got to get ready to go somewhere. But
okay, I'm about to conclude anyway. Thank you for showing up. TC Dan says, I want to give him a chance, but he's doing way too many things that I cannot align with right now. I'm sorry. Honey, don't be sorry, because he's doing a whole lot of things that I can't align with either, beloved. Okay? Songwriter Son says Elon Musk needs to go back to Africa. That's what he needs to do, because if he's worried about those people losing their land over there that they stole in the first place, he needs to go there and try to help them. Okay? That's what he needs to do. Don't try to punish the South Africans for doing what they're supposed to do in their own due diligence of confiscating land that was theirs in the first place.
Well, Elon Musk is from apartheid, so.
Exactly. Okay. So with that all being said, April says, Yup, Queen. Elon talking about Trump, LOL. I think he was. Okay, so listen, I hope you guys enjoyed this live. I hope you got some of your questions answered from the information that Gavin gave us. Thank you, Gavin, our go-to legal expert, okay, for joining us today. And everyone, please like and share this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Double check to make sure you're still subscribed, especially if you have not been receiving notifications. People get unsubscribed every day on a regular basis, unfortunately. Okay, so enjoy the rest of your strong end, not the weekend, leaving you in a weekend state of mind. And I love you all to life. And thank you again, Gavin. Okay, do you want to promote your book or anything before you roll out, beloved?
Yes, just go ahead and please follow me on Rumble at Random Topics. Also, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, GBoo2786, and my book, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby, that's available on Amazon Kindle. Please order there.
All right. So with that all been said, me and Gavin are out of here. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful night. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace. Hold on. I'm still looking for the song. Hold on. Okay, here we go.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hate